Hey guys, today on Stephanie's Star Wars Corner, I am going to be talking about Star Wars Rebels. So, about Star Wars Rebels, I'm not going to go into crazy, really plot detail or anything like that. I just want to discuss my love for Rebels. And I was thinking, it feels like it's just been a little while since being at Celebration and sitting in that room with the Rebels panel and hearing Dave Filoni say that this was going to be the last season of Rebels. And that was such a heartbreaking moment. I was like, oh no, not Rebels. Because I've enjoyed watching Rebels so much. And a part of me was happy because it's like, well, at least Rebels is going to have an ending. But then the other half of me was sad because I love just watching Rebels every day it comes on. I didn't start watching Rebels till about before season 2 was ending. Was when not when I found out about it, but when I started paying attention to it, because I started seeing clips online of that episode where Ahsoka sees Anakin in her visions, and so that was when I was like, oh man, because I saw some of the Clone Wars. I never really watched all of it, but I remember watching several episodes, and that was before, every show was on demand or something like that. So I would catch an episode here and there. So I knew who Ahsoka was, and I knew a few other little minor details. I remember seeing the commercials for when they were saying Maul was going to be coming back on Clone Wars. So when I saw all that stuff with Ahsoka and Anakin on Rebels, then I was like, man, I need to go back. It's but I can't just watch Rebels, I feel like I gotta watch Clone Wars, so I went and binged Clone Wars, and then went immediately into Rebels, and by the time I had gotten to Rebels, Season 2 had pretty much recently ended. And I still, to this day, I think my favorite episode for Rebels would be that final episode of Season 2. Because I remember just watching it and just being shocked the whole time, with Maul returning on Rebels, and then him trying to lure Ezra to his side and telling Kanan that Ezra was going to be his apprentice, and then immediately going from that into Maul slicing Kanan's face. It was just an amazing episode, and then you get to the end with Ahsoka and Vader fighting, and then I've just always loved the ending of that episode, the ending. I love the music to it because it just fits perfectly with, everything. Maul's running away, Vader comes out, but you don't see Ahsoka, and then you see her kind of going into a cave, and then Ezra, Rex, and Kanan returning home, and Hera seeing Kanan has been wounded. I just love that whole scene, and I love the music that goes with it. So I think that will always be my favorite episode. It's probably pretty much everyone's favorite episode, though. I guess one of my other favorite episodes was Kanan, Ezra, and Zeb looking for little baby Force users, and because the Inquisitors were after them. And it's a simple episode, but I really enjoyed it. And then, too, it was awesome because Ahsoka arrives and takes down the seventh sister and the fifth brother, and that was awesome. I love that whole scene as well. I really enjoy the episode with Zeb and Callus when they're trapped together, and, they gotta kind of rely on each other. That's another one of my favorite standout episodes. And then, speaking of Callus, with his standalone episode, I really enjoyed that one as well. And then, I also really enjoyed the episode with the Purrgil. I thought they were great. I really liked that episode because it shows Ezra and his connection with just creatures. And how strong his bond is more with creatures. So that has always been one of my favorite episodes as well. And then I always see people bash it, and I don't know why. I think it's a great episode. And then this final episode of the season with the Purrgil coming back, I couldn't help but laugh. It was just so funny because, so many people dislike the Purrgil or hate that episode with them. And then to see them return in that way to help Ezra and, you know, help him get rid of Thrawn, take him to God knows where they went. I enjoyed that so much. It was just, yeah, I couldn't help but laugh because some people were probably thinking, oh, the Purrgil, and then there was probably a lot who were like, what the heck are the Purrgil doing here? And then going off of that, I just loved how Ezra had that whole connection with animals, the loth cat, the loth wolves, the Purrgil, you know, any creature he would come in contact with. I just love that. That was like a main focus for his character, was his connection. And then another one of my really favorite episodes is when Ezra goes into like the spider cave, and then Kanan ends up following him, and then Ezra's just like, you know, blaming himself for what has happened to Kanan becoming blind. And I just love that moment because I just love how Ezra and Kanan have this father-son relationship. So just seeing that episode, it almost made me cry because it was so precious. And then also, who doesn't love the episode with Sabine learning how to yield the dark saber, and then that whole ending with her, you know, telling, you know, finally letting out all of her feelings and telling Kanan how she really feels. That was another great episode. There are plenty more great episodes, but I'll stop with that. But yeah, this second half of the 4th season was really great. I really enjoyed the first half as well, but I wish the first half was more like the second half, but it was still great. But yeah, this second half of the season was really perfect. Not many characters dying like I thought they would. Yeah, Zeb kind of seems like he would be a character that would go. And Callus, you always thought, well, Callus kind of redeemed himself. He's now working for the good guys. But, you know, he's still alive. But I'm happy that Callus gets to live. You know, I guess he's just going to live his days out happy, I guess. Maybe he's not going to get in any more battles. Yeah, I'm glad Zeb's alive too. But you thought that certain characters would die, but then again, it's a kids show. I mean, you can't sit there and expect for them to get, you know, all brutal and crap. And I mean, they made you almost think that Ezra was gonna go and sacrifice himself to get rid of Thrawn, but obviously not, because, you know, he's apparently out there floating somewhere with Thrawn, or they've landed on some planet, who knows. Kanan was always an obvious he's gonna go. I mean, in order for Ezra to fully embrace, you know, everything, you know, his powers, that Kanan would have to go in order for Ezra to kind of understand his purpose. But still, like, it was kind of a great moment for Kanan, but also it was kind of stupid at the same time, because it wasn't like an amazing battle. It was just him getting blown up, but, you know, he saved everybody that he loved, and it was just such a beautiful moment where he got his eyesight back. You know, I see people that say, you know, it's kind of like the Force recognized Kanan's sacrifice, and they gifted him his vision one last time to look at Hera before he went, and I was like, oh man, why do people gotta say those things? It's sad. It was kind of corny, but it's sad at the same time. And then I just love that moment with when they get back from Kanan dying, and Hera's standing there, and Chopper comes up, and he comes and he holds her hand, and that was just such a sweet moment, because, you know, Hera saved Chopper, and then you always just see Chopper, you know, he's like this little rude little punk, and you know, him going up to Hera at that moment in her life and doing that shows that Chopper actually cares and has feelings, and, you know, really cares for Hera. So that was such a sweet moment. And then, you know, I wish we would have gotten more info from Sabine. You know, when she left Mandalore, when Ezra came and got her at the end of season 3, I think they said they were in the middle of like a war or something like that. So it's like, I wish, you know, you kind of knew a little bit more about that. Maybe something happened in between with Sabine and the Mandalorians that they just didn't tell us. Maybe they'll make a book or a comic book out of it. But yeah, you know, I remember they said that, and it's like, oh, well, what happened to Mandalore? What was going on with that? You know who didn't get an ending? I'm sad. AP5. I love AP5. I think he's a great character. I thought it was awesome when he came on, and I loved his standalone episode. That's another episode I loved, was him and Chopper. That episode where AP5 ends up singing in space. Yes, that was an awesome episode for me. And yeah, they didn't even show him, like, this last half of the season. It was like, oh, does AP5 get a happy ending? What's he doing now? See, I just really wanted to talk about my feelings of it. I just loved watching Rebels all the time. Whether it was that Disney bought that Star Wars Resistance title, whether that be the new, animated series or a live-action TV series, I don't know. That would be cool if that was the third animated series. I would love to see a continuation of all these characters down the road, but we don't know what the next animated show will be. But yeah, I definitely want to find out what happened to the rest of these characters, whether it be by another series or by books or comic books. I just love anything that I could get with Rebels. I'm also hoping that there will be like a big box set that comes out of Rebels. I've got the box set of Clone Wars, so I'd really like them to just come out with this really cool, awesome, giant box set of Rebels. That would be great. I'm gonna miss watching Rebels all the time, and the characters. That's what I'm really gonna miss, is the characters, because then I just love the voice actors as well. I love Clone Wars. I really love Clone Wars, but I think Rebels is up there just a tad bit higher for me. So what did you all think of Rebels? What were your final feelings of Rebels? Your favorite seasons or your favorite episode? Just let me know down below. And that is it for this video, and I will see you guys next month. Bye.